Hello there, my friends. This is a recap of the Spelljammer D&D campaign that I'm in. This is our recap session from 22 August 2024, and I'm playing a bard, astral elf. So he's kind of as one of my other players, one of my co-players said, he's a freak, but he's tall and he has black eyes with white irises that are shaped like stars. So anyway, yeah, he's pretty cool. He's a bard, and he's a 5th level bard, but he's got a +10 in performance, and that will come in handy later. But where we left off, we had this ship that we had stolen, basically like a Corvette, like a kind of a small but quick ship, kind of flashy, but an older model. And we had named it the Audacity because these Githyanki had tried to bar our way out of a port, and we took them on. 4 ships we took on with our one little ship, and we beat 2 of them, disabled one, and destroyed another. But when we challenged them, the enemy captain, the Githyanki captain, said, "You have the audacity to challenge us." So we decided to call our ship the Audacity. So it's kind of a running gag now that, and we renamed the ship something silly before that. We had named it, like, I don't know, the Good Ship Lollipop, or I don't know, something like that. And so we have this convention now, this trope, where we rename our ship every once in a while. So anyway, keep that in mind. We're in the Audacity. But we also had a player character die a few sessions back. And so she was reintroduced to the party, and here's how that happened. So we're walking around the ship, and we find this, I hear this noise. It's kind of a mechanical pounding noise. And I thought, and I say to the DM, it said have a rhythm, because I'm kind of a musical guy, so I'm getting into the rhythm. And so I investigated to see where this wonderful backbeat is coming from. And I find this room with this gnome artificer who is working on something. And it turns out he's working on an automaton. He's just about to put this brain in there. And I asked, does this brain have feet? And because I'm having glimpses of Baldur's Gate 3 coming up. And he said, no. So he puts the brain in this automaton, boots up. And our friend at the table, Julia, she's the character's name, or that's her real name. The character's name apparently is ID, because that's what her previous character was named, ID, because she had a little stamp on her arm or something that said ID number. But now she's ID 829 .2, version 2 of herself is 829. So it's kind of funny. So we're going to call her 8, and that's her new character. And she calls us meat bags, or persons of flesh. And she only has a little bit of her memory, and what she does have isn't good. But at one point I asked her, we were trying to figure out what her skills were, where she would fit in the crew. So we asked her what her capabilities were. And I pulled out my rapier and said, "Can you use this?" And she said, "Oh yes, I can use that, but I prefer to do this." And she points at the ceiling and fires off a laser gun. So that's kind of cool. Plus she also has psionic abilities as well. So that's going to come in handy. So yeah, so she described her character. She said she's basically all steel and chrome. There's a little bit of lavender paint on her shoulder that says her designation, 829.2. And we were talking about calling her 8 too much or that sort of thing, but no, she's apparently a 7-foot tall robot, very, like big, stout. But we were just joking around, playing around with words. But apparently she has a blacked out screen for her face. So think of she's at a television set with the not turned on. But I was thinking more like Daft Punk, and one of the dudes from Daft Punk. But anyway, her psionic abilities, apparently she's going to be able to protect her companions from damage. She can pull enemies prone, and she can enhance her own abilities. So the setting for this, we're in wild space, and we're riding around in our Corvette. We got a couple days worth of fuel, and we need to go somewhere. We decided to go to this place called Spira, and I keep calling it Spiro, like the little dragon from what was that, Sega. And there's a couple different things going on here. There's some political characters. So there's the Republic, the Imperium, and Concordia. The Concordia. So we end up going to this planet, Spiro, and we expect it to be a low-tech planet that has a bunch of kingdoms, city-states that are feuding with each other, and we thought we may be able to exploit that. Our mission is basically to cause chaos. We're space pirates, and turns out there's a whole bunch of Republic ships there. They're already blockading one of the moon base, which is like where the shipyard is, and they're also hovering over one of the city-states. So we get hailed, and we decide that we're going to respond. So my character's kind of the face, has the high charisma. So I'm the captain, so I take the call, and I just say to one of the lackeys we inherited with the ship, your name's now Uhura. Answer that hailing frequency. And so this bewildered crewman presses the flashing button, and I talk to someone, and they say, if you deviate from your present course, you will be destroyed. And we're like, no, we're actually looking for trading opportunities. So, and I said, oh, we are it was the Usonian Republic ships that were hailing us. I said, instead of saying we are the Audacity, I said, my name is Captain Switzerland, and we are completely neutral in all political matters, and my ship is called the Humility. So I roll like a 20, natural 20, to convince him, and I do a performance check, and I have a 10 in performance. So basically, I can't get any higher than that. Like, that's an 8. I'm sorry, that's a 8 is the name of the new character. That's a 30 on my performance check. So I convinced them, and they allow us to land at the moon base. So we do, and we're escorted to meet the admiral. But before we do that, we're concerned about them identifying our ship. So we repaint the outside of the ship. We have the idea to repaint the name from Audacity, which had been painted on the ship. We'd sent some poor crewmen out there to do that, to match the new name, which is Humility, which also ends in 3 letters. So it turns out that the new robot character just like takes off, runs down the hallway, picks up a can of paint, goes outside, doesn't need oxygen, of course, goes outside, starts painting the ship, and she has proficiency in calligraphy tools, and she asks the DM if that would help. That is probably the only time I've ever seen anyone use calligraphy tools in D&D. Although I think once I had a friend use it for like writing wedding invitations or something like that. So anyway, somebody else talks about different names for the ship. Like, we're going to have this running joke where we're going to change the name of the ship, and it's always going to end in ITY. So that was kind of an interesting idea. One of the guys said anonymity, and I thought, well, that's a pretty funny way, to put it, because we're going to want to stay anonymous with our dealings. We don't want to be too high profile, but we're running around basically a 1973 Chevy Corvette. It's pretty flashy. People are going to remember us. And so we have this plan. We meet with the admiral, and the admiral is on this battleship. And we go in, we meet him, and he has a proposal for us, which he wants us to start a war with the people that he wants to intervene in this one state's affairs. And they're called the Kingdom of Grandcrest, I think, and so he wants to intervene in their affairs, but he can't. He needs a casus belli, right? He needs a cause of war. So we're going to give it to him. So we're going to cause some chaos, go in there and just wreak some havoc and pin it on another nation state that's down there. So we're going to do basically the Princess Bride thing, right? So I said, it's easy. We got Florin, Gilder, we're going to be the Sicilian, right? Inconceivable. So as he says this, he's talking about King Rahalan, who's the king of Grandcrest, and we're talking about different forms of government. The Republic is the one that this admiral's with, and he's talking about monarchies down on the planet. And I say, I love democracy. I love the Republic. But we can restructure it into the first galactic empire. And everybody got the reference. But yeah, we were having fun with that. So so this Admiral Mason gives us these orders. So we're going to get organized, and we decide we're going to go down to this other planet this other island nation that we had heard about, because I want to go to the beach. I don't know. I just saw some gameplay from Final Fantasy VII. I'm thinking, yeah, let's go to the beach, And so I thought, okay, we'll go to this place on the beach, which is called Chalea, I think, and Chalea, and we're gonna pin it on them. So I thought, okay, well, here's what we do: we go down to this planet, we go to this island nation, which it turns out has like kind of Greek architecture. Everybody's running around in robes, kind of like Jedi robes, and we grab some local currency. Somebody else had the idea of grabbing some of their clothing. I was thinking about jewelry, just telltale things we can leave at the crime scene to pin the whatever terrible act that we do to on this nation, right? So this is terrible. I mean, as I say this out loud, I realize how absolutely evil these characters are. But at one point, we're talking about going down the planet, and the one player, Victor, he says to the robot character, Julia, do you know how to make drinks? Because we're going to go to the shore. And she says, I have a screwdriver. And her hand pops out a little screwdriver, and it starts spinning. And I said, well, you can use that to mix the drinks. And so it'd probably break the glass. So we have to have all metal containers to drink out of. So we're going to go down to, Charlea. We get on this lightning rail, which is basically like magic train that runs on magic stones. So we basically said it was like a maglev. And we go to this absolutely beautiful city. And we found out that there's kind of like this gray market kingdom, city-state town that's called Gridania. And so the idea is that we're going to go to Chalea, the Greek town, the one that's going to be the patsy, and we're going to take get our evidence, and then we're going to go to Gridania and go get some weapons or things to do mayhem with, and then we're going to, go to the Republic of, or the kingdom that the Republic wants us to do in, or cause havoc with. So as we're down there, Victor suggests, I was just going to ask some locals, like, what's the distinctive symbol of your nation? Or like, what are you guys known for? What do other city-states like recognize you for? But Victor says, well, okay, are you going to like charm them with your performance skills? So I go down, so I roll another, I say, okay, well, I'll pull out my harp and I'll start like just strolling and minstrelling, right? And it turns out I roll another natural 20 on my performance check, which ends up being 30. And so the DM takes it from there, and he says basically, I performed this amazing rendition of this classic tragedy of Nathalus, who apparently is an astral elf king, and it's like a 9-minute song, and people are weeping. The music is so good. They're very demure people, like they don't have like a golf clap is a big sign of applause from them, but they're like actively clapping, which he says would be the equivalent of people hooting and hollering. And they give me money, and I'm wealthy, so like I come from a noble background. I'm not really concerned with wealth. My character's motivation is to go through the stars and find new interesting sounds and music. So I give them a slight bow instead of a deep bow to acknowledge their staidness, let's say, their reserved nature. And yeah, so that's pretty much where we left it. We ran out of time. So we're going to get into the cloak and dagger stuff the next time, I think. But as I was thinking about this, I thought, wow, we made such a splash. They saw us come down to the ship. They saw this amazing performance in the public square. That should come back and bite us. So I'm going to suggest to the DM that, like, that ostentatious performance of a musical number in the middle of the city should have further ramifications for us, maybe later down the road. All right, so that's the recap of our Spelljammer session from Thursday, 22 August 2024. If you want to share with us some of your adventures and ideas on this adventure, put it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you, and hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. May the force be with you.